Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Skillcape perks ranked worst to best. Now, there is 27 skills in the game, and a few of these Skillcapes include Master Skillcape perks that I will be actually including into the ranking. So, for the Master skills, which are skills going to 120, I will be taking that into account when doing the ranking. And one last thing that I do want to mention before I start the video, this is my opinion, so I'm sure some of you guys will have a ranking somewhat different than mine, but just do keep that in mind that it is just my opinion. And if you guys have a different ranking, definitely let me know in the comments down below. So anyway guys, let's just jump right into the video. We're going to start off with the 28th best Skillcape perk in the game, aka the worst. It's going to be a weird one, guys. At number 28, we have the Quest Point Skillcape. So I decided to include this one as well, along with the other 27 skills. This is probably the worst. So the Quest Point Cape gives you a perk that adds 30 seconds onto the player's Tears of Guthix time. No one does this minigame anymore. It really isn't good at all. You barely get any XP from it, so that is why it is at number 28. And so moving on to number 27, we have Agility. So the Agility Capes perk means that the players will no longer fail an agility obstacle except in the Agility Pyramid sliding block. To me, I think this is a really useless skill cape perk. I think with 99 agility, the odds of you failing any agility obstacles are pretty slim. So I just don't think this cape is actually that useful. Unless you are going for 120, then it might be somewhat useful, but overall, it's not really a cape that you will be wearing for the Skillcape perk. And so at 26, the second worst Skillcape perk, we have Woodcutting. So the Woodcutting Skillcape perk, it provides an increased chance to receive a bird's nest or a crystal geode. These really aren't too special. You only get them when cutting a tree, and the crystal geode when cutting a crystal tree. You don't really get too many rewards from these nowadays. The bird's nest, you only get a few seeds, and the seeds are pretty much worthless now, so you don't really make too much money off of them, and it's still not even that common anyway. And so moving on to number 25, we have Crafting. So the Crafting Capes perk provides unlimited thread, another kind of useless ability, and it removes the need for thread when crafting leathers, and also provides a chance to cut all gems of the same type in a player's inventory at once. So again, as you can see, this is another more useless Skillcape perk. Not really too many uses for it, I can't really see, so that is why it is at number 25. At number 24, we have Thieving. So the Thieving Capes perk notes all thieving loot, and also acts like an Ardougne cloak if the player owns one. So again, this isn't super useful. It will be useful for actually pickpocketing some people who actually don't give noted items. So there aren't really that many, and especially thieving is mostly done through safe cracking nowadays. So I would say this Skillcape perk is pretty much useless. Moving on to number 23, we have Prayer. So the Prayer's Cape provides a perk or effect of having 2 lit incense burners without having to light them, and then when offering bones on an altar in a player-owned house, and also acts like a first aid cape if the player owns one. So again, another perk that isn't super useful. You can always just light the incense burners. There's no really need to bring a cape just to make sure you don't have to do that. So to me, it is a pretty useless perk. At number 22, we have the Firemaking Cape, which acts as a light source, also works in the inventory, and then it also gives better rewards from fire spirits, which you do obtain from firemaking. So another perk that isn't super useful, really isn't useful at all. You can just bring a light source. There's no really need for the Firemaking Cape. At number 21, we have Constitution. So the Constitution Capes perk doubles the base life point regeneration to 0.2% every 6 seconds. And then it also heals during combat and stacks with fortitude. So this can be somewhat useful in some combat situations. I guess if it is one of your only skill capes, it doesn't hurt to wear when you are in combat. It is nice that you'll actually regen while in combat, although again, it isn't super useful. At number 20, we have Fletching. So the Fletching Cape's perk provides a chance to make extra bolts and arrows and also darts. This isn't super useful. It's actually a pretty low chance to actually get this Fletching Cape's perk to work. But it can be useful when making money through fletching, especially when you're doing high-level bolts. It is nice to have that chance to make some extras. So that being said, this cape is semi-useful, still not really that great though. And at number 19, we have Divination. So this cape gives non-enriched wisps a fixed 30-second lifespan, and this is kind of useful when training Divination, although you'll already have 99 when you have this cape. And then also it can be combined with the Ethereal Connection buff from the Memorial to Gothics, which actually will boost the duration to 40 total seconds. So another good perk if you are training the skill higher than 99. Also, if you're making some money off of just gathering energy, it is a pretty useful skill cape to wear, although probably not many of you guys are actually looking to do this. And so moving on to number 18, we have Runecrafting. So the Runecrafting Cape's perk reveals the third random rune slot for the Rune Goldberg machine when activated. This is pretty useful, although the only thing it really does for you is kind of just give you that third combination for the Viswax. It isn't super useful to help you make a bit of money every day when you are getting your Viswax, but overall it isn't super great in my opinion. At number 17, we have Hunter, and Hunter, the Skillcape perk, is a lot like some of the others, so it will help you actually further train the skill. So as you can see, it allows the player to place the next box trap or Marasama plant or turtle trap instantly rather than having to wait to actually place it down. So again, this does help you train Hunter further. You'll get the cape at 99 Hunter, so if you are going for 120 Hunter, it is a really useful cape to have. And at number 16, we have Fishing. So the Fishing Cape's perk provides a chance to gain an additional catch, and no experience is given for the additional catch. So again, it's not really super useful. It is useful if you are using fishing to make money, and a lot of people actually do this for their AFK money-making methods. So in that respect, it can be useful, and it gives it the 16th spot on this list. At number 15, we have Construction, and the Skillcape perk is pretty simple. It has a chance to save planks in the player-owned house. So it is pretty nice if you are looking at getting construction higher than 99. It'll save you some money and save you some planks, also some time when training this skill. I think it is going to be pretty useful because I can see a construction update in the future where it will expand it to a 120 skill, and that will definitely make this Skillcape perk much more useful because essentially what it is, it makes going to 120 construction a lot easier. And at number 14, we have the Mining Skillcape. Now, this cape's perk provides a 5% chance to double ore on all core rocks. And also, whenever you double the ore, bonus XP equal to the level requirement to mine that rock is awarded. So it definitely is just a really great cape to wear if you're looking to make money through mining, or even if you are looking to train mining, which gives it the number 14 spot on the list. Mining is a pretty AFK skill, and I would say it is a skill that is actually trained after 99 quite frequently. And at number 13, we have Summoning. So the Summoning Cape's perk provides a 2% chance to not consume a charm when infusing summoning pouches. And it also stacks with Spirit Gems and the modified Shaman's Headdress. This is a really useful perk if you're looking at training summoning past 99. A lot of players do go for 120 summoning. It seems to be one of those skills that people like to go for, especially because the XP rates are so high. And having a 2% chance to save charms is really great. Charms actually probably are the hardest thing to get when training summoning, They're probably the most time consuming, so this perk is definitely a pretty useful one when training summoning to 120. At number 12, we have smithing. So the smithing capes perk provides the effect of whenever an unfinished smithing item is reheated, the next strike generates +5 base progress. Essentially, it will just make smithing an unfinished item a bit faster and give you a bit more XP per hour. And then it also works with the auto heater item and the superheat spell. It provides the same bonus, which is really useful because that is often done when training smithing. So that being said, this Skillcape perk is really useful when you are just training smithing or even trying to make some money off of smithing. At number 11, we have attack. So this Skillcape perk provides a 2% chance for degradable items not to degrade, and it does not apply to augmented items. So essentially what this item does is just save you a bit of money. You won't have to repair your items as often, just 2%. So it isn't really super great, but it will save you a little bit of money. And at number 10, we have farming, which is actually the first master skill. It goes to 120 now. So the base farming capes perk provides a chance to instantly harvest all remaining resources from a crop. And then it also notes the harvested crops automatically. This is extremely useful when you are doing your farm runs. So if you are going for 120 farming, this is a really useful Skillcape perk to have. Now, that being said, there is a master Skillcape for farming. So what the master Skillcape perk does, it gains a new perk that automatically treats farming patches with super compost, and it allows the player to increase the health and happiness of all their player-owned farm animals by 20% once per day. So the master Skillcape perk, it isn't super great, but the base one I would say is probably the better one here. It is really good. Definitely deserving of the number 10 slot on this list. At number 9 on this list, we have cooking, and this Skillcape perk is actually really useful. All it does is prevent food from burning while cooking, making it superior to the cooking gauntlets. This is really useful because you will actually burn some food at 99 cooking, so just wearing this cape makes it so you cannot burn any food anymore. It is really, really useful when going for 120 cooking. At number 8, we have Invention, which is another master skill for the base Skillcape, so the 99 requirement Skillcape. So what the Invention Capes perk does, it provides a 2% charge drain reduction, which also stacks with all the other reductions when you do level up Invention. This is really useful. It's very similar to the attack cape, but basically all gear is augmented nowadays, so Invention Cape is definitely a bit better. And then it also has the Master Skillcape perk. So what the Master Skillcape perk is, it increases the chance of receiving uncommon and rare components when disassembling by 20%. So that is definitely really great. You do want a lot of rare components when you are looking at making some gizmos and stuff like that. So having a 20% increase is definitely super useful for that, making this perk one of the better ones. At number 7, we have the Strength Capes perk. And what it does, it causes dismembers damage over time to last an extra 3.6 seconds, which is an extra 3 hits. So this perk is super useful because Dismember is one of the better melee abilities. So if you are using melee, you are probably going to want this cape. Dismember is one of the highest DPS abilities. The only problem is it deals damage over time. But actually extending this to 3 extra hits is really useful, making this a really useful Skillcape perk. And at number 6, we have the Magic Skillcape. So this is another really useful one that a lot of people will want just for some quality of life type stuff, save you some time. So what it does, it allows you the ability to change your spell book at banks, which is similar to the unlimited book switcher. Essentially what it is, just allows you to switch your skill books when you are at a bank. Makes it really easy because that way you don't have to actually travel around the map to the different altars to switch it that way. At number 5, we have the ranged Skillcape perk. This was actually changed at some point. It wasn't always like this, but what it does now, it increases the special effect chance of ranged ammunition by 20% of its current chance. So this is really great because using Ascension crossbows and back criminal bolts, Some of the special effects that the back criminal bolts have are really, really great, and increasing the chance of them activating by 20% just increases the DPS by that much more. At number 4, I put the Dungeoneering Skillcape perk. This is another master skill, so it does have the base and the master Skillcape. For the base Skillcape perk, it provides unlimited teleports to any resource dungeon in RuneScape. Now, there are tons and tons of resource dungeons in the game, so it makes teleporting around really, really easy. For me, I even put it on my Maxcape. I find it so useful. Just being able to teleport to all of these random spots whenever you want. It is super awesome. Definitely one of the better Skillcape perks. For the Dungeoneering Master Skillcape, it is a bit worse. So essentially what it does, it allows you to choose the boss faced on a floor, and it increases the chance of lore drops inside Daemonheim and Elite Dungeons. So a bit worse than the base Skillcape. Not really too many uses for this, but I just think the base Skillcape puts this at number 4. And at number 3, we have probably my favorite Skillcape in terms of its look, and that is Slayer. So the Slayer Cape's perk provides the ability to teleport to all of the available Slayer Masters. This is really useful when you are training Slayer. You can teleport instantly to all of them, which is another really useful ability. But Slayer is also a master skill and has a master skill cape. And look at that cape. It looks really nice, but the perk is actually really great as well. So what the Slayer master cape does, it gains a new perk that gives a 20% chance to allow you to choose your actual Slayer task from a Slayer master. So this is really useful because who doesn't want to just pick their own task? So having a 20% chance to do that, I think, is really awesome. And at number 2, we have the Defense Skillcape perk. This is another really useful Skillcape perk. I put it on my Slayer stand in Anachronia, so it's always active. It is really a perk that you just kind of always want. It's always useful. So what it does, it provides the effects of a Sign of Life once an hour. And unlike them, it isn't actually destroyed when you activate it. So it is really useful because whenever you die, technically you will be brought back to life if you do have the Defense Skillcape perk. And it will recharge once every hour whenever it is used. And so now, moving on to number 1, we have Herblore. So Herblore is another master skill. The base Skillcape perk isn't as good, but it will allow you to instantly clean all grimy herbs in your inventory, and you will not gain experience for doing this. So this is really good for some money-making methods. You can clean grimy herbs extremely fast using this Skillcape, and you can make some pretty decent money per hour doing it, around 3 to 4 mil per hour usually. But the best perk, I think, is the Master Herblore Cape. And the perk it gains, it is really good. So it enables the creation of Overload, Supreme Overload, and Elder Overload potions in batches of 5. And it also uses 20% fewer ingredients. So all of these potions are so expensive to make. And being able to use 20% fewer ingredients is so useful. Also, being able to brew them in batches of 5 is incredible as well. I know whenever I brew them, I brew a few hundred at a time, and it takes a really long time. So being able to brew them in batches of 5 while using 20% fewer ingredients is super useful, saves you a ton of time and money. And so that being said, those are my Skillcape perks ranked worst to the best, with Herblore taking the number 1 spot as the best Skillcape perk in the game. So anyway guys, let me know what you guys think of these rankings. I know some of you guys will probably think different and you'll want to change some things around. So definitely let me know what you guys think, and if there's any that you think should go higher or lower, let me know in the comments down below. Overall, I really hope this video was really informative and at least gave you guys the knowledge of what every Skillcape perk does in RuneScape 3. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, hit that subscribe button for more RuneScape 3 content. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.